Everyone, and I mean everyone, has a story. Can't help but wonder, have you forgotten yours? Let's learn a lesson from Chick-fil-A and the Bible. There's a sentence I never thought I'd utter. Chick-fil-A teaching its managers and employees to remember, everyone has a story. Chick-fil-A, in an effort to encourage their employees to be kind to their patrons, encourages them to remember everybody has a story. Have you forgotten yours? When you see somebody on the streets, you're out to witness, you're at the grocery store, and their life doesn't look put together, is it possible that you have forgotten that they have a story, and so do you? Might I encourage you, just be honest for a moment. When you hear about a drug addict, you hear about somebody who is in crime, you see their faces on the evening news, they held up a bank, they hurt some people, and you just get so disgusted with them. Is it possible that you have forgotten they have a story, and so do you? From a Christian perspective, you and I ultimately shouldn't care how somebody got into the mess that they're in. It should simply be a matter of they're in a mess. Now, what can I do to help them and love them and not be annoyed with them? That's not to suggest we're unaware that they need to deal with whatever the issue is, but our Christian hearts, informed by their story and our own, should cause us and motivate us to do it lovingly. Let's now learn a lesson from the Bible. The book of Colossians, chapters 1 and chapter 2, halfway through chapter 3, loaded with gospel. You have been purchased. You have been redeemed. God looked at you and went, mine, and saved you. In light of that truth, now Paul launches into your story. Here's what he said in Colossians 3 and chapter 12. So as those who have been chosen of God, holy and beloved, put on a heart of compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, patience. In other words, be nice, be loving, be kind. Remember your story. This admonition from Paul is a command to be tender-hearted. No sharp edges, no condescending attitudes, no judgmental spirit. Oh man, he's a drug addict. Oh man, she's a streetwalker. Oh man, that person has a tattoo. Hold the phone, Henrietta. When we are acting like that, we have forgotten our story. Remember the so, the therefore? Because you used to have a nightmare story. Nevertheless, God loved you, and he chose you, and he saved you. Don't forget that. When you do, you won't be tenderhearted. You won't have humility. You won't have patience. Instead, will be condescending, short-tempered, arrogant with the people that we see because we have forgotten their story, but even more, we've forgotten our own. Colossians 3:13, bearing with one another, forgiving each other, whoever has a complaint against anyone, just as the Lord forgave you, so also should you. There's our key. God has forgiven me. I have a story. What I once was, God forgave me. God has given me every blessing in the spiritual realm. Are you kidding me? I'm now going to look at somebody that I meet that I'm supposed to be loving and witnessing to and have a tude when my only response to their plight should be broken-hearted and compassionate and loving and patient. Verse 14 from Colossians 3, beyond all these things, put on love, which is the perfect bond of unity. Might I ask you a question? Is it possible that when you see society in all of their sin, that you, just like I can tend to have, can have an attitude that isn't, like Colossians 3:12, it isn't loving? Is it possible it is because that I have forgotten our story, which keeps us from obeying the command to be loving? Hey, I'm Todd. I'm going to be your Uber driver. What's your destination?
2054 Kemple Lane.
No. Your eternal destination. The liberals, they brought in Pelagianism. It's the old Sabellian heresy, denying the Trinitarian Godhead. 3 persons, 1 God, not to the Sabellians. No. They would say that it's actually just 1 God.
Please, somebody!